Good morning, everyone. I'm really excited to talk to you about marine careers, particularly a career in marine education. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what we do at Reef Keeper Belize. So I'm based in Belize right now. And I believe afterwards they'll give me some time to tell you about my degrees and how I got where I got and give you some advice and answer your questions. So we'll get started. We created a TV show called Undersea Belize, if you want to check it out on YouTube or Facebook. And this is the trailer to give you a little teaser. So I encourage everybody to check it out on our Facebook page at Reef Keeper Belize or on YouTube. And it's made for younger audiences, but I think it definitely has some good information for people who are of all ages. So wanted to let you know a little bit more about Reef Keeper. So we educate Belizeans about the marine environment. We go into the classroom and we also take kids out for field trips to see the islands near the Belize Barrier Reef, with the idea that once they see it, they will be very interested in protecting and promoting conservation of this important marine protected area. So education is our top priority. Our main educational audience is primary schools and some high schools in Belize in the Stand Creek district near Dangriga. And we take, as I said, our primary school students out. You can see them in the far left top can corner looking at the reef. And you can see we also get them in the water for snorkeling. We do cleanup activities with schools on their beach, and also plastic repurposing and trying to encourage at least litter pickup and recycling. In the cleanup sessions, we have an internship program for local students where we do cleanups on the beach and clean up a lot of waste. We also have a waste recycling receptacle on the beach in Dangriga in Belize. And why are we doing this? Because we love coral and we love mangroves and love those habitats and realize how important they are for the people that live in Belize and the people like you that might come to visit Belize. So over 40% of the gross domestic product in Belize depends on the coral reef and the mangrove ecosystems being healthy. So taking care of all of this means so much to me. And of course, as I said before, we engage youth interns by encouraging them to become ambassadors of the reef and ocean. We also have TV programs, like I mentioned before, our Undersea Belize program with our Goliath grouper mascot. And we also engaged local students and educators in getting other people involved in the TV show. And there's opportunities for local people to win trips to the Key so that they can visit the island. So when I say Key a lot, I mean island. And you can see here the island featured on the TV show is the Smithsonian's Caribou Key. You can go Google that and check it out. It's a pretty cool place to visit. And regardless of what you do in your career, whether you're an educator, you're a biologist, you're a marine scientist, you're an oceanographer, you can make a difference in other people's life just by sharing what you know with others and working to spread the word about keeping the environment clean and trying to eradicate plastic pollution. And my presentation is really short because I'd love to get people's questions and feedback. And if you want, I can just spend a few seconds telling you about how I got my career. Shall I go? I'm not hearing anything. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sorry. So, what made you interested in pursuing this career?
Well, I was one of those kids that grew up watching Jacques Cousteau and other nature shows when I was a kid. And then we used to spend a lot of time at the beach. Practically every Sunday we would go to the beach, and I was always that kid out with my book identifying the shells and identifying the fish. And I don't remember not being interested in the sea. So I think I was 8 years old, and my dad would take me to parties and say, Lisa, tell the nice people what you want to do for a living. And I'd say, I want to be a marine biologist. So I guess it's just one of those things that got me interested. And then once I got closer to my career and started pursuing my college career, I was just fascinated by the lab classes and just loved being out in the field. And, if there was an opportunity to pull a net, get out and get dirty, go swimming, I was the first one in the line saying, pick me, pick me. Did that answer the question?
Yeah.
Yes. And if someone was not graduating from a college university with a degree in science, how can they get into a career such as yours?
Well, I don't think that there are any real hard and fast requirements for being a marine educator. So originally I graduated when I got my master's degree, I graduated and thought I was going to be a marine resources manager. And I found out that at least it wasn't for me. But when I started working with kids, I loved it. So I think anybody without a degree that's interested in working with kids and interested in working in the marine environment can always volunteer. You can do internships and gain experience. And once you have that experience, or maybe you go into a field like teaching, you get a teaching degree or you get teaching experience. Either way, that will put you in the right track to do marine education.
Awesome. And what does a typical day look like for you?
There's different days. So there's office days where I'm sitting in front of the computer writing grants. And then, our typical field day is really cool. So, I get up really early in the morning. I prepare for the field trips. I get all the equipment ready. I drive all the way down to Dangriga. I hop on a boat. We get all the kids prepared with their life jackets on, and we take a 20-minute boat ride out to the beautiful Belize Barrier Reef. And then we go and tour the various islands. I'll discuss with them the whole marine ecosystem, and we'll end up on Tobacco Key and do some activities, and then do a snorkel. And then after that, a boat ride home and a drive home. And then that's my typical field day. And that's the day that I just feel like the world is the best place ever.
Awesome. So if someone is unable to take an environmental science class at their school, but they do want to major in environmental science, what do you recommend they do to gain more experience before going to college?
So, I know that there are opportunities for internships for high school students. And for example, for us in Belize, we have high school interns that are actually learning about marine careers before they're even entering college. So internships are great. Volunteering is great. Self-study is a good thing. You can learn so much on the internet these days about marine careers, about marine techniques. I know the Khaled bin Sultan Living Ocean Foundation has a really good website with a lot of information about the marine environment. And there's a lot of videos. If you just Google, you can do some self-study and learn. But I would say definitely volunteering, internships are the way to go, and trying to do as well as you can and stay focused in school.
What is your favorite part about being able to connect and educate the public?
I think my favorite part is when you're talking to somebody and you're talking about the importance of mangroves or coral reef, and you just see that light in their eyes where they get it, they're connected, and they realize, wow, that's important. And the kids will start, we'll be, for example, we'll be at a mangrove area and they'll see a baby barracuda and they're like, miss, we see a barracuda, we see a barracuda. They really get it. And then afterwards, in interacting with the teachers are telling you, gosh, this was such an important event for us. We feel like it's changed our children's lives. Their children are asking to recycle at school. People want to plant mangroves. People want to become reef keepers. That really is the most rewarding thing for me, to see them get it.
And so I know you were talking about internships and volunteering opportunities. Is there any that you know of off the top of your head that you would suggest that, some people may not have access to or is kind of hard to find?
Well, I mean, I can say about internships, Reef Keeper does offer internships. They're not paid internships, so it may be something that would restrict people based on having to get to Belize and being able to, to stay here. But I think interviewing people and word of mouth, especially if you're in a degree program, is a wonderful thing. Networking and connecting with others and telling them your interests will help point you to internships you may not have heard of. I'm also on the VIMS Scuttlebutt listserv that has a lot of information for people interested in marine education and also internships in marine education. So that Scuttlebutt listserv from VIMS, the Virginia Institute of Marine Sciences, has a lot of good information about internships if you want to check that out. It's actually how I came to Belize. I did a volunteering that I saw on that listserv, and here I am. I moved here.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you would like to share with anyone while more questions filter in?
So let's see. I was just looking at the questions. I think no matter what you do, persistence and patience is so much more important than anything. So if this is your passion, if this is your dream, don't give up. Be persistent, be patient, keep showing up, keep trying, keep doing. Eventually you will get there. I think about a lot of my classmates who maybe didn't end up in their field, and I didn't end up in my field until I was like later in life. So I had to work other jobs, do things that weren't directly related to my field just to pay bills. But I didn't give up on my dream, and I stayed persistent. And that was really an important factor in me getting where I am.
Awesome.
The listserv, I'll write that in for you. It's Virginia Science. I have misspelled that there. There we go. Scuttlebutt Yeah. So there's a lot of good things there. You just have to Google that and find it, and then you can subscribe. And again, that's how I found out about working here. I actually saw a listserv request for volunteers, and I said, hey, let me just go try this. And I tried it and I loved it. And then I had to find a way to make it possible for me to stay here. Can't see it. I'm not sure what they can't see.
I'll find the link and I'll send it in the chat just in case.
Okay, great.
And then another question. What other skills translate to be successful in your industry?
In marine education, teaching skills are really important. So knowing how to get in front of an audience and convey technical information, science in a non-technical way to non-technical audiences is really important. It's important also to know how to connect with people at all levels. So to be able to understand where kids are and their development, where adults are and their interests, where people of different ages are in terms of their interest and their development and ability to understand certain things. Being adaptable and flexible, especially when you work with kids, any question can come up and any situation can come up. So you have to be ready to handle things. You have to be patient when you work with kids or adults. Being organized is a super big plus. So to run programs with a lot of people and coordinate things and logistics, it's really important to be organized. I think that's it.
Okay. Have you worked with any other organizations or education centers? And if you did, who and what and how did you work together?
Okay, so my first marine education job was with the Artist Boat in Galveston, Texas. And that was a really great experience where we took kids into coastal wetlands and went kayaking and taught them about coastal wetlands. I also worked at Oregon State University's Marine Science Center in Newport, Oregon, where they have a marine science center and school groups come in to visit, and then they do both field classes and hands-on classes with animals in touch tanks. So, different animals that you're presenting to people where they can actually touch the animal or interact with the animals in different sorts of ways. Trying to remember, I also have done a little bit of work with the Smithsonian Research Institute out here in Caribou Key, helping them do some of their outreach with their groups that come in, student groups. And who am I forgetting? And then I've done a little bit of work with the Tobacco Key Marine Station. So yeah, that would be it. Did that answer the question?
Yes. And I understand that you are mainly an educator, but do you have scientists there conducting research?
No, so we're strictly education. However, we do conservation work. So we would be getting into things like mangrove restoration, mangrove monitoring, potentially future water quality monitoring. So we don't really necessarily interact with scientists in a direct way. However, there are universities that come to do their study abroad classes in Belize. And so we do work with some of those schools that are teaching marine science in the field. So like tropical marine ecology. And so we would be on those trips helping them collect scientific data or assisting the students with learning how to collect scientific data.
Awesome. And I have a question in the chat. They're asking what classes should they take at a middle school and or high school level to advance as a marine biologist?
I know that things have really changed since, since I was in school and since I know people that have been in school. So there's a lot more specialty classes that you can take, such as marine biology or those sorts of things. For me, I would say, especially and you're saying middle school and high school. So, I mean, there are some of those specialty classes that you could take. I think it's important. Some of the classes that I think were helpful for me were that are not related to science would be like public speaking was really important. Technical writing, really important for science and as a marine educator because you have to write grant proposals. And so technical writing is very important. Obviously, you could take any kind of marine biology, aquatic science, but having a good basic background is important. And then at the college level, what I would recommend for many people is a lot of people feel they want to go get a specialty degree at the bachelor's level. And I think if that's your passion, you should do that. And I enjoyed it. But I think a good solid biology degree and good grades will probably get you further than a specialty degree. Did that answer the question?
I believe so.
I encourage anyone that's interested and hasn't had your question answered or would like to talk to me personally that you can always email us at reefkeeperbelize@gmail.com. You can visit our Facebook page, Reefkeeper Belize. Soon we'll have a website up as well. I believe it's going to be reefkeeperbelize.org. And we do have internships available for foreign students. And you can arrange with the university to get college credit for that. So feel free to contact me and we can discuss about how that might work out. And sea turtle studies. So no, we do not offer sea turtle studies. If you're interested in that sort of thing, I did some volunteering before I started my career. Costa Rica has very many or seemingly multiple opportunities to do sea turtle research and work with sea turtles.
Okay, so I think we are out of questions. So thank you so much for joining us today for Ocean Institute's Virtual Marine and Environmental Science College and Career Fair. And to our generous sponsors, we wish you all the best in your next steps.
Well, thank you. It was really a pleasure being here and a great opportunity to meet with all of you. And I look forward to hearing from people, and thank you for this opportunity, and have a super great day, and check out Undersea Belize on YouTube too.